I feel like today's phrase might get me into a little bit of trouble, but let's talk about it anyway and see what happens. Hey there, my name is Katie Morgan. I am an indie fantasy author and fiction editor, and welcome to another episode of Stupid Phrases, the series where I talk about the dumb things I keep hearing in the creative community that I really wish people would stop saying. Standard disclaimer applies, we're talking about stupid phrases, not stupid people. The idea is to think about what words we're using and how they affect our creative lives. I feel like today's phrase might get me into a little bit of trouble, but you know what? The YouTube algorithm likes controversy, so let's see how it goes. Today's phrase is talent doesn't matter. Let's start by defining talent. According to Merriam-Webster, talent is a noun that means a special, often athletic, creative, or artistic aptitude. Another relevant definition there is the natural endowments of a person. Also, as an interesting side note, there's an archaic definition, which is a characteristic feature, aptitude, or disposition of a person or animal. So let's start off with the two really obvious things that come out of this definition. Yes, talent absolutely has been used as a gatekeeping mechanism, like you can't do this creative thing unless you're super talented. The other idea is that all you need to get by in life is talent. You don't have to put in any hard work if you're naturally gifted at something. However, let's talk about the part of that definition that implies that talent is an intrinsic part of who you are, this natural endowment of a person. Let's have a little bit of story time. When I was in middle school, I was part of my school's talented and gifted program. And what that meant was I had this opportunity to be taken out of classes and go to a special, smaller class where you were with a group of kids who were doing kind of more advanced work or focusing a little bit more on our individual talents. So I was a writer and I got to do a lot of sort of development of my skills as a writer and get a lot of kind of personalized attention from the teacher and from my classmates, focusing on what I really loved and the areas where I really wanted to study. That was definitely not something that we got from the regular classroom. When I was in a regular classroom, I really felt like I was the weirdo, and the things that I was really passionate about were things that other folks weren't quite as passionate about or didn't understand, and this idea that I had this talent, something that I was told I was good at, that I really enjoyed, that I wanted to get better at, that was something I needed to kind of like back off and not be super intense about, because that was not normal and that was not okay. So it meant a lot to me to have this class and to have this teacher who really focused on treating me like a real human being and treating me like someone who was intelligent and creative and passionate and deserved to have those talents highlighted. The thing with being in this program was it gave me an opportunity to develop my talents and to feel like being talented at something was okay, that it was even admirable, that it was something I didn't have to hide. And I really felt like in other situations in my life, being talented was not okay. Being talented made me less relatable, and if I said anything about my talents, then clearly I was just being boastful and obnoxious. So it was this weird juxtaposition, because on the one hand, the adults in my life were frequently saying, oh, it's so great that you're so talented at this, look at you, you're going to go far in life. And at the same time, there was a sense of, don't be so full of yourself. This is particularly from other students. Don't be so full of yourself. Why is it always about you? Like, what's so great about being talented? Who cares? So one of the things I really loved about this program, and I think was really important in terms of me developing as a human being and as a writer, was that the talent I had was supported and admired and seen as a good thing in this context. And there were people there who were going through similar things, other creative folks who wanted to develop their talents. It wasn't something we had to hide. It was something we could work together to enhance. So why does any of this matter? Well, I think when we talk about talent and we're saying things sort of off the cuff, like talent doesn't matter or you don't need talent, again, I think the point is to talk about it in terms of gatekeeping and, everyone should be able to create and we should all be proud of what we're doing. No one needs to be left out. We can all be part of this creative journey together. The problem is there's this underlying idea when we use that kind of phrasing that people who are really talented at something should just shut up about it. Your natural endowments as a person don't really matter. And when you have a talent and you're really proud of what you've accomplished, that's seen as kind of like a negative, self-centered kind of thing. You should really just shut up about it because, hey, everyone can do that, so what's so great about you? It's this idea of equating arrogance and selfishness with having a natural inclination to some sort of creative endeavor. And like I said, it's really tricky because the idea of talent absolutely can be used as a way of keeping certain people out of the creative community. And that's definitely something we need to call out because it's super not okay. And the other thing too, as I mentioned earlier, just because you're talented at something doesn't mean you can somehow rest on your laurels and never try to get better at what you do. You will quickly be surpassed no matter how talented you are if you're not trying to engage with your creativity, with your community, and become better at what it is that you love to do. But I also think we don't necessarily want to lose the conversation around people who are naturally gifted and talented at what they do, and celebrating the fact that these people have this innate drive to create and to learn more about their method of creation. I think that drive, that flow, the sense of being involved in something you love is really what gets you through the difficult times, because creating stuff can be really tough sometimes too. So to be clear, talent is not some sort of secret handshake you have to master in order to be let into the super secret club of creative people. Creativity is something that we can all play with and enjoy. But I also think it's really important to note that people are talented at things, and that's something to celebrate, and that's something that we should never, as creative people, feel like we have to hide or play down just because it's seen as something negative. So this old idea of talent as gatekeeping is gross and should definitely go away, but at the same time, talent does matter because it's part of who you are as a creative, and that deserves to be celebrated. So that's it for this episode of Stupid Phrases. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more in this series, be sure to subscribe. I would love to know about some of your favorite stupid phrases, so be sure to leave them in the comments, and maybe we can talk about them in a future video. I've also put some information in the description below about my contemporary fantasy novel Dark Empathy, and also my editing services, so be sure to check those out. That's all for today, and I'll see you next time.